Thokozani, Gogo Malandzela TV family, Thokozani Bogogo Nabomkhulu. Thokozani to everyone who is definitely viewing this video. It is my pleasure, it is my honor to be here with you today, Thokozani. All right. So today I'd just like to dissect a topic that enlightenment is always good. Knowing some of these things is always good. Just because you don't experience them doesn't mean that they don't exist, right? So today we'll be talking about spiritual attacks, ne? Types of spiritual attacks and what really happens to some people and what do they really experience during those times, right? So spiritual attacks come and affect one's life in different ways, right? It is then therefore there to bring about unease or to bring about distraction in one person's life in one way or the other. Be it they experience it in their daily routines or the things that they need to do or in their relationships and things like that. So spiritual attacks come and affect us in different ways, in different times. So at least it is important to know about them, right? Nonetheless, getting straight into it, first and foremost, there's some people who experience physical spiritual attacks, right? So people who experience physical spiritual attacks, I'm just going to mention some of the things that they go through, the signs and symptoms of what they go through. Some of them, they are fighters. They like to fight, or they end up fighting, or they always end up in fights, right? Some of them have a problem of vulgar language whereby a person kore o tla o rwaka uzokuthuka uyobuzwile uma uphuma lapho ukuthi hayi la ngithukiwe la, right? So some people not they even recall it after the actual event has happened, but they're gonna show you, right? Other things that they experience is a choking sort of sensation. They end up choking. There's a certain thing that they experience whereby they sometimes, whether is it because they are sleeping that they cannot breathe or because there's something going on there that they need to look out for. It's something that they do experience. Another thing that they experience, then therefore, it's boma sleep paralysis. They end up experiencing sleep paralysis or sleepwalking, right? So it's a form of a spiritual attack, right? Another thing that they do experience, if not nightmares, it's deja vu, a constant repeat of the same thing happening over and over again, night after night, day after day. Kore, it's the same thing. So these are some of the people who then experience memory loss. You'll be asking them about this. Hey, no, do you remember what happened yesterday? You said 1, 2, and 3. You did 1, 2, and 3. And they cannot recall or they are not sure about what you're talking about. But they can tell you something happened. But as to what it is, they themselves cannot confirm, right? Another type of spiritual attack is a spiritual attack. Now, these people experience struggling hupahla, right? They struggle to pray. These are the people whom, if they are asleep, it's rather they struggle to wake up, they struggle to move, should they need to, in terms of maybe if they're in a dream and they need to wake up because something is actively happening. So these are the people who then therefore sometimes experience constant bad luck around them. No matter how much they try and do what, they just have the constant bad luck in terms of the things that happen to them. Another thing that happens to them is that they fail to explain themselves. They truly fail to explain that this is what happened or this is where it started and this is how they cannot have that thought process of order, an orderly thought process. It's not something that they do have. Or if they do, because they are being attacked, they cannot then therefore express. Right? The third type of spiritual attack that some people face, it's emotional attacks, right? So you find that this person uyakhala, they cry, balakho, you know, without a reason, without, they just cry. Some people then therefore experience extreme mood swings, right? So you'll find it's rather they're extremely happy, or then they become extremely sad, extremely angry, but they experience an extreme amount of whatever that they may be going through. Another thing they therefore go under or experience is unstable thoughts, right? Because this thing is happening to me, I feel like I should kill myself. Because this thing is happening to me, I feel like I should what, or I should what. So it ends up, you end up making critical decisions at very dangerous points of emotions where you are. Another thing that they do experience, should they experience emotional attacks, is that they're not able to adapt. They're not able to handle or cope with their anxiety or their depression. They have an extreme disconnect, causing them then therefore to end up lonely, causing them to go back into depressive thoughts, anxiety thoughts, unstable thoughts, emotional thoughts, which come and attack you at the most times when you need to have solid thoughts, right? So these are some of the things. And also jealous, guys, jealousy it's an actual attack. A person who is jealous of you, or is jealous of what you do, or what you look like, or the outfit you're wearing, or how your ancestors bless you, it's an actual problem. Jealousy is not something to take lightly. The more somebody answer, oh yena unahana hore, yena unahana hore, no, dangerous things that if you do experience some of these things, get help. Get help, Wanabadimu, get help, and be in a space where you can be okay, and not necessarily now wishing for vengeance against other people and other children so that they cannot survive or they cannot move on because now you don't want them to. No, get help, correct yourself, fix yourself. It is important. Another type of attacks that people experience are mental spiritual attacks. Now, the mental aspect of it, they come through dreams. Some of you have some hectic dreams that are so vivid that when you wake up, it's whether you're bruised, whether you've got scratches, whether you've got what. These are spiritual attacks, guys. These are not things that you should be getting or taking lightly, then therefore. These are the people who are constantly then therefore stuck in negative thoughts. They're always thinking, no, I'm not meant to be anything. Somebody said this about me, so now it's true, and you live by it and you prove people right according to what they're saying about you. You lose that sense of thought, that sense of this is who I am, despite who's saying this about me, this is who I am. So you get lost in the midst of confusion, in the midst of commotion, in the midst of things which should not have power over you, but they will overwhelm you because mentally you're not strong. Mentally, you're not secure. Mentally, you're not sure. Mentally, you're doubtful. Mentally, you're overthought. You're bombarded. You're bombarded by a lot of thoughts, a lot of feelings, a lot of what, because of the things that you experience, and not knowing how to get the help or how to help yourself, then also contributes to you being even worse than you were initially with the attack that you may be experiencing. Other people, they then therefore experience headache after headache. Doesn't matter what they do, they experience headache after headache. And I mean antagonizing headaches, headaches that make you leave work, headaches that make you leave school. You go home to try and find and calm down your thoughts and your mind. That's how hectic some of these things can be. Some other people get stuck also in constant failure. They don't understand mentally, why am I failing this test if I've studied 10 hours for this test? Why am I failing to do this if I've done this? Why am I failing? So they're stuck in their constant failures. They don't even recognize or acknowledge the things that they do right. Right? So this then therefore pushes someone to fail in terms of they won't be able to cope. They can't cope with what is happening to them, because sometimes when they explain that, sometimes when they explain, mama or papa, I'm having this types of dream, this dream what, giving details, giving what. And then somebody's response is that, no, ahlanya, you're crazy, daddy, wait. Ow. Like, ow. You know, that mentally shuts you down. So whatever, if you're trying to go and look for help, you don't find it necessary anymore, or you no longer have the tenacity to go and find help because you've already been demotivated, taking you back to square one where you started, where you don't know what to do, but being stuck in a certain thing or in a certain experience that you're going through. Another form of spiritual attack, the last but definitely not the least, it is then therefore financial spiritual attacks. Financial spiritual attacks. So this for some people can apply in terms of, even if they do have money, they don't know what to do with it, or they don't know what they've done with it. So meaning they cannot keep money and they cannot hold money, or whatever is material or whatever then they therefore consider as something valuable to them, right? Also, another attack is that now, even when you do get money, even when you do, you end up broke, even if you just got the money. It's a spiritual attack. It's not your imagination. It's an actual attack. Because we need to be able to ask for wisdom once we receive the things that we ask for. Now, if you receive what you've asked for, but in turn you get attacked, you need to go back and figure out what is wrong, what went wrong, and how you can therefore help or get help. Another thing is that one ends up not doing what they said they would do. So if somebody has committed that, no, end of this month, I'm paying school fees someone, then all of a sudden the roof falls in. Now school fees has sapatalwa, hulukiswa roof. It's a spiritual attack. The fact that you can have a budget to say, I'm going to build this one room, I'm going to finish this one room, and then from there I'll build the house. Then the one room ends up half. It's a spiritual attack. So some people also get attacked in terms of, even if they do have money, they then therefore have too many responsibilities. They have to feed other people's children. They have to feed their own children. They have to pay the bills. They have to buy electricity. They have to what? So whatever they have, they can never really fully use it for themselves or commitments that they have. They always have a thought process of putting other people first. I'd rather not have grocery if mama ngunalmtlakas vibes. I rather not have clothing if banaba mama get to go to school. So going back to your responsibilities become overstretched. They become too much. Whereas responsibility, you need to be able to cope with, you need to be able to handle, you need to be at least aware of, if I'm doing this or if I'm doing that, benefit, consequence, right? So, beloveds, there are a lot of signs and symptoms that people experience in terms of spiritual attacks. This is just me briefly sharing some of the signs and some of the symptoms that some of you may experience. And another thing that I think I forgot to mention, along with the physical spiritual attacks, is when now you're eating in your dreams or you're having sex in your dreams. Those are spiritual attacks, family. Those are not things that you should be enticed by, more so in a dream, right? So there are different types of attacks. Understand yourself and where you fall, and get the help that you need for yourself, right? um I'm thankful that you've tuned into this video. I'm honored to be here with you today. And thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I thank you very, very much for being here. I thank you for watching this video. I thank you for tuning in all the way to the end. May you be blessed. Makukhanye, makulunge, makuvuleke. Izinto mazisebenze kahle. Impilo zethu mazilunge. May we put in the efforts into building our lives. May we put in the efforts to fixing our lives. And may God and our ancestors bless us for every effort we make in trying to build a better tomorrow for ourselves and our families and those that surround us. Thokozani bokhokho nabo mkhulu. It's been an amazing episode. Until next time.